Action, action, and more action. There is so much that we need to be paying attention to in these charts, guys. We have to really delve into this pattern that we saw 2 days ago and why it is so critical for reversal. We have to take a look at some things that you may have not heard of before. We have to talk about my two targets, two very specific targets, and why I think there is a very high likelihood that one of them will be playing out. No, it is not up or down, but they both end in a massive breakout, just slightly different time frames. You guys cannot wait to get into the data with you today on this Friday, December 20th, 2019. Let's get into it. Wow, what's going on, my hot dog munchers, my crypto enthusiasts, my brothers and sisters? Welcome back to another episode of Tyler's Technicalities Without the Technical Analysis. Today, we have a very exciting episode for you today. A lot of crazy things are going on, and before we really get into that, I do want to say, coming up on the holidays, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. We're going to be making updates throughout, so we're very excited to get into that with you guys. But really, we have to talk about this pattern, this candle that we're seeing today, and what this means, and also with context, take a look at that giant bullish engulfing candle from 2 days ago, right here. And we really need to put that in context and tell you guys what we think are the two most likely next moves, because both of them are extremely exciting. And in fact, both of these patterns are high priority in my mind, and I want to tell you, clue you in on what I think is more likely as of today, December 20th, 2019. So guys, a few announcements before we lead into it. I actually was so excited today. I wore a Christmas sweater today because it was Christmas sweater day. And in fact, I got so excited I actually ripped my Christmas sweater. Also, I've grown about 3 inches in the last 2 months. It's been absolutely insane. And in fact, I'm just getting a little too big for these clothes. Look at this. Absolutely ruined my shirt. This might be the last time that I ever wear this beautiful thing. Wow, now that's exciting in itself. But guys as well, I guess we might as well get all these announcements out of the way right at the beginning, and then we can just jump into the data and the TA. If you guys are new, we're still doing this giveaway, about less than 2 weeks until we do it. And in fact, I have another announcement coming on later in the video, and we might actually do the treasure giveaway a little earlier than that. So all you have to do to enter is leave a comment below. And guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, ding that bell, and make sure to bring your A game, because we like to have excitement in these videos. We're all about the hype and all about the pump. Woo! We like to get pumped just like Bitcoin likes to pump every once in a while. Am I right, guys? When Bitcoin pumps, Tyler pumps. Wow. Let's get into this, guys. So I think the perfect way to describe today would be this: the calm before the storm. We are seeing something very interesting in the market, and in fact, I'm actually surprised that the breakout of this falling wedge, which now happened 2 days ago, has maintained and actually has been so far testing the top of the falling wedge. And in fact, guys, we have this curious little pattern right here. What is this candlestick you might see? Well, many of you might be familiar. It might be a hammer candle, okay? But we have to talk about something critical. So I want to start off by framing it this way, guys. What have we been in? Pretty much, well, for the past 7 months, obviously we've been in a downtrend. You can see the descending channel. That is the definition of it, a downtrend. But something interesting enough is that since that pump and since the beginning of November, we've been in just an overall downtrend. And we define that by pretty much being below the 21 moving average. Okay, we see that here. That was when we broke through that. And so being below the 21-week moving average as well as the 21-week here is actually key. We're below the 21-day moving average right here as well. But if we were able to get above like 5 different things, again, we talked about this in yesterday's video, that would put us above that as well. So that would break the downtrend, okay? In my opinion, that would break the downtrend. So currently though, we've been in a downtrend for a few months. So to break a downtrend, there are many reversal patterns and many bullish candlestick patterns that we can look at. So obviously we do have a hammer candle here. But I want to start off with this. The bullish engulfing candle is just absolutely crucial. It is a 2-candle reversal pattern. The second candle has to completely engulf the body of the first one, just absolutely destroy it, and without regard for the shadow, aka the wick. And did it do that? It absolutely demolished this, the wick and all, the body, all of it was demolished. And as I mentioned in yesterday's video, not only did that, it actually demolished about 7 candles. Okay, this was an extremely bullish candle. Now, this, in my opinion, is a very good reversal pattern. But guys, does that mean that we will not go back into that falling wedge? Because that is what is key. And that is what I really want to get this across to you guys, is that it is very key to know that just because we broke this falling wedge does not mean that we will not go back into it to test it. So far, 2 days after it happened, we have not yet cemented a daily candle within the falling wedge. We've stayed above it so far. In fact, as you can see, guys, we bounced literally right on it today so far. So that is just very clear right there. But I want to draw your attention to something, because while it is possible that we see something like this where we stay along the top of this falling wedge, bounce back up here, and then we have the option of getting above this and finding support, and that's full on bull mode, or we have the scenario of staying here, falling here, bouncing to the top of this fib golden pocket, okay, to the above the 0.65, getting rejected, trying to find some support on this middle channel here. Again, we're going to extend this as the time goes on. That is another possibility. And then whether we absolutely moon from there or get rejected, those are possibilities. But really the overall things that I want to talk about are, those kind of fit into the same thing for me. Really just staying above the falling wedge, because the next option would be falling into the falling wedge. Okay, if we fell back into it, would that mean that bull mode will be delayed? That's something you got to be looking out for, because that is a possibility, but it does not invalidate this, and it does not mean that this whole entire pattern and setup is invalid. Okay. However, what would make it invalid, in my opinion, is if we in fact come in here and instead of finding a nice bounce throughout it, we fall through to this very, very, very key area, the bottom of this descending channel here, guys. Okay, so that's around the $6,000, $6,100 range, as we talked about yesterday. Okay, and I want to point your attention to something new, because I talked about this a little yesterday, and then falling down worst case scenario to this $5,500 level, which is also the 0.78. I want to talk to you about why this bullish engulfing is just very bullish, okay? So this is one of the first signs that we could be getting a massive reversal right here, guys, okay? And something else I want to point out to you is that if we fall out of this falling wedge, it could remain as bullish or possibly even more bullish than the falling wedge setup, because when we come to the bottom of this descending channel, okay, we touch here, and we have a massive bounce. So it touched twice, okay? 2 separate times, and the same thing actually happened here. Keep that in mind, guys. Here, massive bounce, okay? So we have both of those scenarios. So we've touched it once back here. Now, what would be very mimicked here is, we touched it once, came all the way up, and then we fell back down, and then we had the pump, okay? So say we touched it once, now we're in this setup. This is something I could see happening. Falling back into this wedge, okay? And if the full bullish pattern of breaking out does not play out, we fall back into this wedge, and we come back to touch here, guys. And again, those two options are much more likely than I believe this area right here. But then what would happen if we fell down here? I am betting my money that I personally think that we would then get a massive bounce again. However, I think this falling wedge setup is actually very bullish, and I just think that it's more likely than potentially doing what we've done already 3 times within this descending channel. Although I do think that this descending channel bounce would be extremely bullish, and it is very possible. You might not like that, because that would entail we have some downside. Now again, I don't necessarily believe this is guaranteed to happen. In fact, we still look amazing above this falling wedge, but I want to prepare you for the other option, because right now it's very bullish. But again, this could turn at the drop of a hat. And in fact, it could also get even more bullish at the drop of a hat as well. It could absolutely blast through by the time I upload this. It could blast through in 6 hours from now or a day from now, okay? So that's likely. And then pretty much everybody's worries fly out the window, because it gets very bullish. So, that's one option. But again, guys, if we do come down here, I am looking for a very bullish setup. And again, I don't think it would happen the second that it drops down, if it would do that below the falling wedge. I do think that if it did happen, we would see a massive pump probably within a day or two of touching the bottom, very similar to the last time. Okay, guys, remember what happened last time? Very big pump. It was actually one of the biggest daily candles in Bitcoin's history. Okay, 73 all the way up to, it actually went above, I think it went to like 10,000. Let's see, it actually went above 10,000, 10,400 within 2 days, okay? So you got to watch out for that. But then the last thing what I really want to get across to you guys is that if we would fall back into this falling wedge, I do want to say this. I think that the candle would be just as drastic as the one we saw 2 days ago. I think it would be pretty massive, and it would happen pretty quick. If we fell below this, I think we could maybe spend some time, right above this middle line of the middle of the descending channel right here. There's 2. This is the top middle, and this is the bottom middle. So I think we would actually maybe find a little resistance or support right there, but then I think it would very quickly fall, if it were to here, and if it were to happen where it would follow the channel, I think that would happen very quick. So that could be a day or a 2-day candle. It would be very big. But again, guys, I also expect the bounce to be very big if that were to happen. And again, if it would, I think that these patterns would be absolutely shattered, and I think it would go easily, very easily, to not only the top of this 21 average, the top of this, past this Fibonacci golden pocket, past the bottom of this market trend line, but also past the top of this descending channel. I think it would be pretty big. Remember, the last pump was about $3,000. We would only need, guys, where we're currently sitting, we would only need a few hundred to get back above those key areas. So again, if the pump was even $1,000, But in fact, let's actually move it down to here, so it would actually increase what it would need by about $1,000. So if it was about $1,200 to like $15 or even $2,000 pump, that would break very key levels. And again, bull mode would be fully activated in my opinion. If we move over to the weekly chart, not only would it be activated fully on the daily chart, but wow, it would absolutely surpass this very critical level of 8,300 right here, guys. The 21 weekly, and that is full on bull mode, as we talked about yesterday. That is full on bull mode, so that would be absolutely wild. So to sum it up, guys, I want to say this. And before I do, I actually forgot to mention this. YouTube enabled my channel for channel memberships, guys, and check out the first link in the bio if you guys would like access to additional features, guys. I'm very excited about that, actually, in case you guys want to check that out. The prices are actually very low because they give you recommended prices, and I chose some very low ones. In fact, take a look at them to see what you can get, because some of it's pretty cool, and I'm pretty excited to actually start using some of those features. Thank you, YouTube, for enabling members on my channel. Wow, what an honor. But basically, to sum up the video, this is what this is like the too long didn't read version of this, guys. Basically, what I want to say is that the two most likely scenarios in my book are this. We have a breakout off the top of this falling wedge where we're currently sitting now. We have a breakout above that, okay? And that could happen very quickly. That's a very bullish, very short-term, exciting pattern. That's the most exciting right now. Second option is that we fall past the falling wedge, fall back into it, potentially even fall below it down to the bottom of this descending channel, and then have a massive bounce, massive rally, $2,000 daily candle at the least above some critical areas, and the rest is history. So those are my two most sought after patterns right now. This pattern is insanely bullish to me, but guys, keep in mind, if the second one were to happen, we would see a drop of about another $1,000 in a very short amount of time. So one of them is just straight up bullish. The first one is straight up bullish, very short term. The second pattern I'm talking about does require a nice drop in price before we set up for that moon blast. Okay, guys? So keep that in mind. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your comments below, but I honestly think, there are a million things that could be happening. There are people out there saying a million different things, and this, in my opinion, are the two things that I'm really looking for. Two scenarios, and I do think one of them most likely will come out to play very, very soon. So guys, thanks so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure to check out the links in the description. Thanks so much for coming by, and I'll see you in the next one.